Alright everyone, welcome back to my second video in the build series. Today we are going to focus on the Corruptor. Now, I wanted to do this ship early on because there's just so much fun with this ship you can have. You don't have to have it a crazy high mastery to be effective. Honestly, you can have it at mastery 1 and have a decent build for it. As you get more points, though, it does offer you a little bit more you can do earlier on. What I'm going to show you today is a build from Daddy Dreadcock over in Omega. And I have a report he sent me after chatting with me a bit. And he's beating a level 50 Cypher with a level 36 Corruptor. This is important because what better way to defeat these high-level ciphers than with a ship you don't really have to invest a lot into. Once you have it, you are set. So as you can see here, he was facing Commander Candy. Nothing crazy with the commanders. Beating this. And this is insane. So let's take a look at the commanders he has. He has the Confusion Immunity. He's got Aerithor with the EMP Impact, so a chance to inflict stun on those normal attacks. We got Robertson here with the Charge Up Elemental skills, so he probably is just putting him in here to get a little extra out of the Elemental. And he has Elizabeth for that one craft healing, running mono-stacked Cyclops. On the other side, we have Omicron with the Physical Catalyst skill, so increasing that ship damage dealt by 10%. We have Axel ignoring defense by 30, so vulnerability sensor that I showed on my Cypher build as well. We have Valthier here, getting this against all enemy strike craft defense minus 6% for the first 4 rounds. And we are ending with Elizabeth to heal up those mono-stacked Cyclops. Now as we dive into this, just look at these numbers. What the Corruptor did was it caused confusion and Cypher basically killed itself. There's a 22,000 damage hit from the Cyclops for the Corruptor side, and that's probably mainly because he was doing all the damage to himself. He was putting in a little damage as well. Now, as you can see, a lot of healing done, but you really can't out-heal this. And honestly, as we go through the steps, you'll see, lost 12 here, lost 16 here, lost 20 here. So, we 12 in the first round dead, then 4, then none, then 4. Let's see, then 8, then none, then 1, then 3, and then none. So basically, there's multiple rounds. I'm guessing it's 3, 6, and 9 were the ones that they lost. Yep. 3, 6, and 9 are the rounds where Corruptor hits off its abilities, and during those times, Cypher just hit itself. Now, taking a look at this, we can see that the Corruptor here has 346 initiative. Cypher has 299, so he's not moving first. And that's key. You want that Corruptor to either stay alive long enough to get those 3, 6, 9 skills off, and then they're going to go through the whole next round, or be the first to act, and then they hit in that round on the enemy. So I have also worked on doing my own build. So mine's going to look a little different. Let me put in my characters. Now, I'm going to have the option, and I showed this off in my Cypher build. I'm going to work my way backwards from the support officer to command this time. I have the option to do the healer or throw in Julia for that initiative. It's really going to be dependent on what my initiative is. I have 359 for the initiative, so I should be able to beat most blue ships unless they have quick draw. If I come up against someone that I see has the quick draw skill, I'm probably going to throw Julia on. And then I believe if you have two ships against each other that have quick draw, it's going to go back to the initiative on who goes first. Or maybe, I'm not sure what happens if you get this character gold starred up. But I'm going to do my best to keep an eye out and see if Julia's the way to go. Honestly, I like the healing. It's great, and I'll keep that on until I see a need for it otherwise. Now, as far as my engineering, I'm going to bounce between the same two characters as my Cypher, depending on who I'm going against, if I need the energy damage reduction or if I need the regular just overall close range strikecraft damage reduction. On my combat officer section, I'm going to actually use Phaedra. And this is going to give me that extra oomph damage out of my hits by giving the extra shot of energy damage. And then on my first commander, I'm actually going to put C99 on because I want to double down on the confusion. So if I can hit confusion in round 2, use the Corruptor skill and hit confusion in round 3, hit confusion again in round 4, and have 2 chances to hit confusion in round 6, more the better. Now looking at the tech tree, I pretty much copied Daddy Dreadcock's build. So I am working on right here, front loaded, enhanced reflexes, chaos agent, and shocker. So once I finish this one, to allow my Cyclops to live a little bit longer and have that longevity, I'm going to start pumping more points into shocker. Once I finish those 4 skills off, I'm probably going to look at where I can put another point, and I'm either going to bounce between this one or look into another one. If I had Mastery 5, I'd probably put some points into Shock and Awe, but honestly, I'll probably put Defensive Barrier. And the reason for that is that Stun is only 10% chance, and this is only for stun damaged, or damage against stunned enemies, so we're not going to have a big chance for that. Now, going back here, if we had Shock and Awe, obviously the percent chance would go up higher. I do want to talk to the devs about this. I don't know if you noticed, but the max level bonus is literally just triggering on rounds 3, 6, 9 again. So I'm not sure what's supposed to be here, or if it's just they have the wrong wording in and there's a different buff, maybe like an increase in elemental stat or leadership or something like that. But if I had this, I would look into using Helpless. As far as the Mastery 5 abilities, this would be another good one to try to get. So even if you stick with these 4 abilities, if you put a point here and a point here, this ability is inflicting confusion 100% of the time. So again, rounds 3, 6, 9, we're basically inflicting confusion on everything that the enemy might have at that point. So 2 enemy strike crafts, their capital ship, and with the officer that we have, we can also hit a 3rd one potentially on certain rounds, a 3rd strike craft. So we have the chance to potentially confuse an entire team if the cards fall correctly. Now, this tree right here is where things get very interesting. If you are coming up against an enemy such as the Moonveil that does a ton of healing, I would recommend investing a bit of your points into this. If you get this max level, enemy units cannot recover HP. and that's from round 4 onwards. This is key for that Moonveil, especially if Moonveil is using that ability that heals from round, I believe it's 6 or 7 to the end of the battle, a ton of percentage of health. You can negate that. And you can negate any of those other healing factors as well. Now, Power Exchange is another interesting ability here. During battle, your leadership goes up by a percentage. Now, we did some testing on this, and we see some benefits to leadership increasing, but it's not a ton. And honestly, if you combine it with this Chaos Agent, like, you get that minus 50 leadership for the opponent, you increase your percentage of leadership. Leadership just does not do enough in this game to really matter. It might increase damage by your Strikecraft and decrease damage from other Strikecraft a bit, but nothing that's crazy noticeable. So basically what leadership does, leadership, and see if we could, I don't know, it doesn't click on it like it would in anything else, but leadership basically is the Strikecraft damage and damage reduction boosts that you would see per ship. So essentially you'd want a higher leadership on a ship that's Strikecraft focused, and you'd also want to try to decrease the other players' leadership if that's the same concept you're going with. But through testing, it's just not a big concern. It's not really a big chance or change in numbers. So honestly, this reinforced skill is the only one that you're really going to want to focus on, depending on your opponent. And last season, I had some really great success using the skill against a couple players in Stonar who were really, really putting themselves out there with their level 50 Moonveils. I was hitting them for a ton of damage with this build, just because they just could not heal enough to stay alive. So that's the Corruptor. Not a great looking ship, kind of a basic block ship, but that's the build that, as you saw, is a Cypher killer and can actually oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It can actually prevent a lot of ships from really messing you up. Great ship to throw in if you're trying to squish up a stronger opponent for a second ship to come in and finish it. Now, honestly, you're probably going to take a lot of losses from using this ship. It doesn't really have a lot of longevity in keeping your troops alive, but if all your cards fall into place, that confusion will just damage those ships. So keep in mind, this is going to be great for those ships that are skill-based damage dealers. So Cypher and a couple others that specifically are going to use skills to hit you. Kraken, a few other ships. Machina probably is a great one to hit against. This ship is what's going to change the game for that. And it's a great counter. So thank you all for jumping on today. Really appreciate it. Make sure to reach out if you have any tips or questions or anything that you want to see highlighted. I am more than happy to field that information. And feel free to subscribe and follow along. I'm really branching out on some of the stuff that people want to see and doing my best to get it out there. I plan to have some more of these builds going forward, so jump in and enjoy the ride. Thank you.